How's it going, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and in this video we're going to look over Cleanspark stock Clsk. We've got an important date coming up, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, what I expect throughout the rest of this month and even the beginning of August. Now, to my surprise, we actually have a green day today. We've got the Fed raising rates, giving us a rate hike today, and also tomorrow we've got our GDP data. I expect a very red day. We've got a lot of things going on this week, and of course we've also got some big earnings. We've got Apple, we've got Google just reported, Microsoft, a lot going on this week. But let's look at TradingView's heat map, just see what the market's doing, and then let's get into Cleanspark. And just glancing at the overall market, you'll see that in general we are green. Large cap tech is quite green. We've got Google up 6%, Microsoft 5 almost, Amazon almost 4, Tesla almost 4%, Apple even 2%, Nvidia's 5%. Definitely a lot of green on the large cap tech. However, we've got consumer non-durables selling off, health technology selling off a little bit, and utilities as well. And small caps are doing pretty good today. We've got a lot up, anywhere from 2 to 4%. We've got India up 4%, charge points up 2%. Things are definitely looking pretty good today, but I expect it will all get taken back tomorrow. Now, looking at Cleanspark, they're actually going to be at the Mining Disrupt convention, I guess you can call it. And we've got 2 days. We've got Wednesday, July 27th. And then we've got Thursday, July 28th. But we will see if this is going to be pre-recorded for us or anything like that. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this event. But if you guys are able to go, let me know. It is in Miami, Florida, across the US. I'm on the other side. And we also had a recent reaffirmed stock rating by HC Wainwright, and they gave it a $6 price target, or reiterated the $6 price target. I think that's insanely undervalued, and it means nothing. However, I guess it's a positive thing that they aren't giving price targets of $3 and $2, so we have that going for us. But looking at the chart here, we did break out of this downward wedge pattern, only to come back down and test it. Now we are kind of riding down on this downward wedge. However, the MACD looks pretty bullish to me. The RSI does look bullish to me, rising. And it's also a good sign that we did not break our low. We didn't break our 5th of July low. The funny thing with Cleanspark is it actually did break its May 11, May 12th lows, unlike a lot of other small caps, but this was due to Bitcoin continuing to drop in price during that time. Now, what I expect with Cleanspark, I definitely think we're going to retest this low on Cleanspark. We may even create new lows, and I could especially see this if Bitcoin were to pull back considerably. I'm talking down towards its $18,000 low, 1750 low area. Quickly glancing at Bitcoin, you'll see that we have been in a slow uptrend, creating higher highs, higher lows, although recently we have been cooling off a bit. But I'm going to be closely watching this trend line here, and seeing that it doesn't break it. That means that we're going to be continuing in this bullish trend. The 18th of June was our low, which really wasn't that far away. So it's very possible that we do retest this level if we do break 20,000. That being said, I will be closely watching this trend line to see if we bounce from it. But as many of you know, I see Bitcoin as an insane buy right now, and looking years out, you are going to be very happy. That's my personal opinion. Now, I also wanted to show you a couple of things with Cleanspark here. We've got a price to sales of 1.3, which is extremely low. And we're talking about a growth company here. We're not talking about a company that's going to just continue to decline in revenue. While yes, this quarter might be a bit lackluster, maybe even the next quarter, the long-term trend will continue. And Cleanspark is going to continue to make more and more revenue year over year. They're currently under book value. They're at a 0.44. And I think a lot of that is due to their balance sheet. When you look at it, you'll see that they really don't have much cash. Well, this doesn't tell you what their Bitcoin holdings are. They do have somewhere around 350 Bitcoin, and that's roughly what they mine every month. So consider that every quarter they're going to mine roughly 1,000 Bitcoin, and another thing to think about is they have prepaid miners. They have no obligations to buy miners. Everything from my knowledge is all prepaid. So to me, some of these valuation measures look really good in my opinion, and the fact that their balance sheet is really low in cash, I think that has a lot of people fearful, but they don't know the whole story. They don't know that a lot of these miners are paid for. They don't have to even worry about thinking about buying miners for quite a while. They've of course got their Bitcoin holdings, which isn't reflected here, but let me go into a negative that I see here for Cleanspark. And I've mentioned this before, we're likely to have a lackluster quarter. Now, they are expected to report August 9. If you're not built out on this, what I would personally do is I would wait until after the earnings. You'll see that, last earnings we actually reported 41.64. The previous one we reported 41.24. That was a very small growth in revenue. Compared to what they normally do, you're talking about a very small growth in revenue, and that's because they really pushed it. They really I feel like they really tried to get that revenue continuing to increase, and this time they're not going to be able to. We have an expected revenue of 35 million expected revenue. This is a decline quarter over quarter, and this is going to be the first one that they've had in quite a while, and this is obviously due to Bitcoin's price dropping. If Bitcoin was still hanging around 40, 50, even 60,000, they would be blowing these out of the water. You have to consider that, the February 9 earnings that came out, they reported 41 million. This was when Bitcoin was way higher in price. than the May 10th earnings report, you know? So it's kind of funny to see that they were right in line again. They're actually able to pretty much get the same revenue as they did the quarter previously. And, you know, to me, I think they were just really trying to make shareholders happy, really trying to, you know, show that they're continuing to grow revenue. I don't think this is going to be the case this time. This could definitely cause a little bit more fear in Cleanspark. Who knows how much this is really priced in at this point, you know? And that's one thing you got to consider, you know, to see our revenue drop. We obviously know why this is, you know. It isn't anything wrong with Cleanspark necessarily. They're continuing to increase their hash rate. They're continuing to mine more Bitcoin per day. So personally, I would come in with some cash. Make sure to hold some cash through August 9th. See how this earnings goes. Maybe it beats, you know, and surprises. I honestly don't expect it. I personally do think our revenue isn't really going to be all that much. You know, when you see what Bitcoin's price has been doing, and when you look at our recent mining updates, and that's another thing, we're going to get our next mining update probably in about maybe like 6-7 days. So that's going to be another big thing, and that's going to be coming up right before earnings. So you're definitely going to want to look over those numbers. But so far, their mining updates haven't been that great, but that's to be expected just due to Bitcoin's price dropping so hard. But what I do like about their mining updates is where they've sold their Bitcoin. You'll see that they actually are pretty strategic and pretty smart about where they sell their Bitcoin. And so far, looking back, you know, it seems that they've made the right decision. Otherwise, they'd be holding all of this Bitcoin and not have taken profits along the way over the last couple of quarters. So I commend them for that. I actually like the idea of them selling their Bitcoin to continue to grow. They're not having to dilute shareholders. They're not having to acquire more debt. I definitely like that concept, definitely like that plan. The only way that they would not look smart for doing so is if Bitcoin were to just suddenly dramatically increase in price and just blast off. I don't see that happening, at least for another, you know, 3 to 6 months. But let me know what you guys think down below. How is Cleanspark's earnings going to go coming up? How's their next mining update going to go? And also, what do you think Bitcoin's price is going to do? Are we going to retest the $17,000 area? Or are we going to start creating new highs pushing past 24,000? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thanks as always, and take it easy.